Good morning children, welcome to English classes, and today I am going to explain you the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tiger from the book Flamingo, and I suppose this is the last poem in the book Flamingo. So children, Aunt Jennifer's Tiger is composed by Adrian Rich, and before I begin with the explanation of the poem, I would like to tell you a little bit about the poet. Adrian Rich was born in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. She is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and a theorist. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. She has raised her voice against racism. Now, theme of the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tiger. First point here I would like to discuss is this poem addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. It means in this poem the poet has described about the restrictions of a married woman. Second point here is it depicts how the power of men controls their women's forms but not their minds. Physically, the woman can be controlled by the male people, but their minds are not controlled. There is no control over the imagination. Third point is it shows the pathetic condition of women all over the world. Basically, Aunt Jennifer is a person taken by the poet. She is a woman, married woman, and she is trying to tell us the condition of all the married women in this world. And the last point is it highlights the conflict of women between impulse of freedom and imagination. This poem tells us if any woman is not enjoying freedom also, but imagination can be enjoyed by anybody. So in this poem, Aunt Jennifer, she is mastered by her husband, but when she is doing the work of embroidery and she is making tigers in the panel, at that time she is using her imagination, which is not controlled by anybody else. So let's come to the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, composed by Adrian Rich, and here I will explain you line by line. The first line, this is the first stanza, and the first line is Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. So, in this poem, Aunt Jennifer, what she is doing is she is making embroidery. She is doing embroidery, and in that embroidery she is creating picture of tigers. The tigers who are fearless, who are strong, who have power, and they are in the forest. Aunt Jennifer's tigers. Why the tigers are called Aunt Jennifer's? Because Aunt Jennifer is creating them in the panel. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. Prance means to jump over. Across a screen. Screen can be called as a wall. So this is the description of the embroidery, the picture that Aunt Jennifer is making. Bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear. They here refers to the tigers. Do not fear the men beneath the tree. The meaning of beneath is under. The tigers are fearless and they are not afraid of the men who are standing under the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Pace means to run fast. In sleek, chivalric certainty, sleek here refers to shining and well-groomed. Chivalric means heroic, brave, and certainty means confidence. So all these qualities refers to the tiger. They are not afraid of the men. It means they are fearless, and they run fast in their well groomed heroic confidence in the forest. They have power, they are strong. But the lady Aunt Jennifer, who is creating this picture, she is not strong. She doesn't have power. She is full of fear. She is mastered by her husband. Now let us come to the second stanza. And the first line of second stanza is, Aunt Jennifer's finger fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So here the poet is telling us Aunt Jennifer's finger are fluttering through her hand. Meaning of fluttering is moving about. The fingers of Aunt Jennifer are fluttering through her wool. Wool she is making to make that embroidery. Through using this, she is making the picture of tigers who are roaming in the forest. Aunt Jennifer's finger fluttering through her wool. Why the fingers are fluttering? Because maybe the condition of Aunt Jennifer, she is feeling, she is scared, she is full of fear right now. Find even the ivory needle. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Her fingers are fluttering, and fluttering means moving about. So her fingers are getting it difficult. She is feeling hard to pull that ivory needle. Needle is made of ivory. So the condition is that when she is creating the picture or she is doing embroidery, at that time she is feeling when she is pulling the needle, she is feeling it hard to pull. Why? Now they are giving us the reason. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band. Wedding band again here refers to metaphor. This is the poetic device. Massive means heavy. Heavy weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. You know, wedding band, there is a ring, wedding ring, and she is calling it heavy. Actually, ring is not heavy. Why she is calling it heavy? Because she is feeling her life, married life, as a burden. She has so many responsibilities and duties. She doesn't have any freedom, and she is controlled by her husband. So she is calling that ring, that wedding band, as heavy. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily. What is sitting heavily? That ring. The weight of that ring, that wedding band, sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. She is trying to tell us about the responsibilities, the duties a married woman has to do, and she is calling her life, married life, as a burden. So this is the third stanza, last stanza of the poem. And in this stanza, the poet is trying to tell us that when aunt is dead, after that also she will be dead, but the tigers which she is creating, the embroidery, that will live forever, and her tigers will go on jumping like this always. I'm going to read and I'll explain you. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So the poet is trying to tell us when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. That after the death also of aunt, her terrified hands here, the poetic device, transport epithet, or we can say synecdoche, that is used. Her terrified hands will lie. और कैसे रहेंगे उसके hands? Still ringed with ordeals. Ringed here, in ringed also there is a poetic device, pun. Pun is a poetic device in which children, one word is used and there are several meanings. More than 1, 2 or 3 meanings are there of that particular word. Ringed here refers to, one is the ring that she is wearing in her finger, that is the wedding ring, and the other meaning of ringed is encircled, surrounded. Surrounded by what? With the ordeals. Ordeals means the difficult experiences, the hard experiences which she has been suffering from throughout her married life. Still ringed with ordeals, she was mastered by. Mastered by here refers to controlled by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. And after that, the poet is trying to say, even if Aunt Jennifer dies, her ring will be there in her hand and it will keep on lying there with the hard experiences of her life by which she was controlled by. But the tigers which she is creating or through her embroidery, that will keep on prancing. The tigers in the panel. Panel is the board in which she is making that picture using the wool and ivory needle that she made will go on prancing. Prancing again, the meaning is jumping over. Proud and unafraid. Proud and unafraid refers to the tigers because these are the qualities of the tiger. They are not afraid of anything. So here the explanation is finished, and one more poetic device I would like to tell you here is irony in the poem. Irony I explained you in chapter the last lesson also. So why the poetic device irony is here? Because Aunt Jennifer is a weak and submissive woman, but the picture she is creating through her imagination, that is of the tigers, and tigers are a symbol of power, bravery. They are prancing with confidence, but Aunt Jennifer lacks that confidence. She is controlled by somebody else. She doesn't have her own freedom, but the tigers she is making, they are completely free. They are not afraid of the man who is standing under the tree. So that is why the poetic device irony is there. And in the last line where it is written prancing proud, P, the syllable P is repeated. So here the poetic device alliteration is there.